for today's cup of coffee with Scream. We've got cryptids. And
we got Nessie.
We do. And I think it's interesting that
Nessie.
The Loch Ness monster is not as popular amongst the cryptid community as once
Why not?
was.
It's a giant lake dragon.
It's a dinosaur.
It's a giant lake lizard.
It is. I thoroughly believe that it's a dinosaur, and that the loch, I don't know if it opens out into the ocean or whatever, but this is a huge body of water.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't really fathom. I mean, it's just like
that's why I just call it a lake.
Yeah,
it's one big lake.
Well, we think of a lake as in our area not that big. Yeah. Now here in the United States, we have the Great Lakes, which have their own weather pattern.
Yeah. They're incredible.
Isn't it, though?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is. So the loch, I don't know if it has its own weather pattern or not, but it is a huge body of water. And this story comes from Daily Star and is by Adam Collier, I think is how you pronounce that, and it's September 24th of 2024. And I will put the link, and the way that their webpage is really janky. So I've had to print it out. Because you have to scroll and scroll and scroll.
Yeah, when it's
to
doing
get to the
that's
other
just
paragraph.
not fun.
And I'm like, what the hell is up with that?
It's just not good.
And I actually did try to let them know about this months ago. They didn't care.
No, of course they don't. Because let's make it as cumbersome as possible.
And then wonder why they don't get more
traction.
Clicks.
Yeah,
whatever. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Traction.
And it says that a father and son duo claimed that they were attacked by the infamous Nessie while canoeing on Loch Ness. Jeff Potts, an experienced guide, and his son Chris were each paddling their own canoes when they were both struck from below. The sudden impact almost caused Chris to lose grip of his paddle. And Jeff is 53 and Chris is 24 and are no strangers to the infamous loch, having canoed there numerous times, but this time was different. And Jeff stated, quote, I guide canoe trips on the Great Glen. I've done around 40 or so in the last few years. A few weeks ago, while I was out with my son Chris, something bumped my canoe hard from below. And when I mentioned it to Chris, he said he hit something with his paddle, which nearly took it out of his hand. I didn't see anything. I just felt a big thump against the bottom of my boat. In nearly 40 Great Glen crossings, I've never experienced this.
Damn.
Chris saw nothing, but he also hit something hard with his paddle. I don't know why they decide to repeat these things.
So it's the same thing,
this
just
before,
over?
basically. It said, I don't know, and maybe I asked up. I very well could be that I asked up. It said that he added that the impact felt different from hitting a log. He said, quote, Loch Ness has an impressive presence about it. I mean, it's huge. And as he's completed it so many times, it was confusing to get a thud which sounded dull. I've hit logs before, but this was not like hitting wood at all. You immediately wondered what it was, but the water was so dark that you could only see down a foot or so, end quote. And it says last month a hydrophone device which detects noise underwater picked up a strange sound in the loch that had experts questioning what could be lurking in the depths. Underwater detectors picked up a regular heartbeat.
Oh.
And the rhythmic pulsing was detected on a hydrophone that was deployed 100 feet below the Scottish Lake's surface. And a few years ago, and I think they do this every year, they have like the Nessie sighting, and that they have the cameras where public, that you can sit and watch different parts of the loch. And we had actually covered the story, and that somebody from the Nessie spotting group had responded to us.
Yes, they did.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
And, do I believe that there's something in there? And now, this could have been one of these, I think they have these huge fish that are called pike.
Pike?
And that they are huge.
Ooh.
And so I think those may be in the loch. I don't know for sure.
I think I've caught those in Animal Crossing.
But with these people being experienced out on the water, this was something unusual for them. So I think stories like this need to be taken into account.
I think they do too, because this is incredible stuff that you're hearing. Yeah. So why not investigate it? Why not go further into it? Why not collect as much data, much evidence, have cameras on the shit?
Right. And it's just like, even, they've had before as far as, we're going to go out here, we're going on with a boat and all these different things. Again, this is a huge body of water. And if this creature can go out to sea, or if there are caves or anything like that, the chances of being able to catch that on any particular day slim to none.
Right. And it sounded like it just bumped their boat, not really attacked.
No, I don't know that I have heard any stories of the Loch Ness Monster attacking.
Right.
But
have people swam in it?
Huh?
Have people swam in that lake?
Yeah, I think they can swim in the loch.
Well, if people swim in it and it hasn't gulped up a bunch,
right?
It must be pretty fine.
Yeah.
It must be all right to be around, because it's not harming people,
right?
Intentionally,
right? And with some of the cryptids, you would like to think that it probably would be a bad thing if they were proven, because you would have some idiot out there that would want to capture one, kill one, whatever, for whatever reason.
The government has already done that.
Has killed a Nessie?
Not a Nessie, but I'm sure they've definitely caught cryptids before.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've created cryptids also. Coffee and slurp.
So
in slurp.
In slurp. Coffee slurp. Non-stale coffee slurp.
But do I think that there's something there? Yes, there have been too many people that have reported sightings for years.
Right.
It's not a regular occurrence. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people live in this area and go their whole lives without seeing a bear?
Oh, there's people that day in, day out, like they're everywhere, that have lived here. Childhood, adulthood, elderlyhood.
Right.
Have gone their whole life without seeing nary a bear.
But they're here.
Yeah. We've seen them.
I actually...
Other people talk about them.
Years ago, and I made a video, and I don't know, that was before I started, properly giving titles to things. And I haven't gone back through the archive. There was a mama bear and 3 cubs that across the road. Got them on video. Like I said, it's there on the YouTube someplace. We've been doing this a minute.
Yeah.
It's like the one with the rattlesnake. It's on there somewhere too.
It's somewhere.
Yeah.
That's been years.
Yeah.
That's years back.
It has. But just because you don't personally experience something does not mean that it's not there.
Yeah. That it doesn't. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right. And it's like, for these people, I'm one of these, if somebody is being reasonable and logical and that there was not substances involved, I'm willing to listen to their story. We always have been open to that.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people that they will have either cryptid sightings or paranormal and supernatural encounters, and they have no one to tell. Now, and then today, it's almost the opposite, because you've got so many shows, so many channels, whatever the hell you want to call them, that is their gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the big name people, that's where people a lot of times go, because and you don't know whether this stuff is fake or not.
Right. You never do. Even on YouTube, like some of the amateur ones, you don't know if they're faking it.
Right. So it's really hard. But there's a lot of people that have had experiences, and like I said, they just want to share that with somebody.
Mm-hmm. And they're scared to, because more people will say that it's either fake or something else. Because people generally don't know.
Oh God, yeah, they'll mock them.
Yeah.
And God love him, poor little Travis Walton. Now he at least has gotten some validation over the years.
Yeah.
But he went for years being mocked. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinking he was crazy or a liar or something, and
yet
Bob Lazar is the same.
Yet they couldn't explain his disappearance.
Right. Same thing, like I said, with Bob Lazar. This stuff that has recently come out with the UFOs / UAPs, whatever the hell, has given a lot of those people validation. Mm-hmm. And so at some point, hopefully, with the Loch Ness, that will be to sit there and go, yeah, there is something there. And with some of the people where they do have the cameras and different things like that, and I don't know whether they have those year round or if it's, just an event that they have. At some point, somebody will catch something. And people have caught some of these things in the water that have these humps.
What kind of humps?
Well, 3, 4, whatever it is, that is a very large creature that they don't know.
Yeah.
And
could they tell that it was scaled, slick?
No, they couldn't. And that's part of the problem, because you can't have these mega high-powered cameras around this huge amount of area day in and day out. That would cost mega bucks.
Yeah. And not everybody has like an iPhone or a high-end Android to get those good pictures either. Yeah. So.
And even those have a certain amount of distance.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't think any of them have actual apertures as opposed to an actual camera.
Yeah.
So I think it's all digital zoom versus, actual zoom.
And so the different bodies of water are some of the most unexplored areas. I think we know more about space than we do about the different bodies of water on our planet.
Space.
For various and sundry reasons.
And that is weird, and people have been talking about that. Why are we more focused on space than the ocean?
Well,
what is in the ocean?
I think. Well, there's people that think that there's been sightings of UFOs / UAPs. Well, it couldn't be a UAP, so it
exactly.
can be a UFO. It's a something else because it's not flying necessarily, but
it's something alien-like. But the thing
coming
is,
in and out of the water.
Coming in and out of the water?
Yeah. There have been people that have thought that there may be some kind of alien bases in the oceans. That's been going on for many, many years because there have been sightings.
Yeah.
Of things like that. But it sets a different type of, as far as with the pressure as you go down in the water. It's different scientific and engineering issues.
Yeah.
As evidenced by that sad little submarine thing that somebody did not think that through. That was horrific.
We've already forgot. The people have already forgot about that.
Well, everything is going so fast, people can't keep it all in their minds.
How long ago was that?
It's been several months, or has it been a year? I don't know,
because
because time has been so strange.
I think it's been a year or so.
But do I believe that there very much could be some kind of dinosaur in the loch? I do. I've always thought that there was the possibility that dinosaurs could be. And there have been some of these very remote places, reports of things that like pterodactyls and other types of dinosaurs that could have, lasted through the ice age or whatever. We don't know.
We don't.
A lot of this stuff, the science acts like they have all the truth, and they don't. They've proven themselves to not know that much more than the average person. In fact, sometimes they know less because the average person usually has some common sense.
Mm-hmm. Usually.
But
that common sense has become uncommon now.
Yes. It truly, truly has. So, these guys, do I believe that they had an experience with whatever it was? Yes, I do. Could it have been Nessie? Yes, it could have. I mean, there's a lot of things. People are always going to speculate, but these folks know what they experienced. So I'm not going to sit here and try to besmirch.
Yeah.
Right. Why would I?
Don't poo-poo it.
Final thoughts, kid?
Some of these things, you literally have to see it to believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when stuff like that happens, you're completely caught off guard. You ain't going to have like any sort of high level tech on you to capture it.
Not usually.
And even if you do, we don't know that it, like, whatever, Nessie aside, whatever it is, doesn't mess with electromagnetic fields either.
That's true. That's true. And then when somebody has an experience, as time passes, a lot of times they start gaslighting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I didn't really see. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I misunderstood. And it's like, don't do that.
It's like, no, you saw what you saw.
You experienced what you experienced.
That's
Believe
like
it.
People question what they see in their peripheral vision.
Mm-hmm. Which is your true vision, because when you're looking head on something, that you're seeing an illusion, because it's the brain making up for that gap in vision where the optic nerve goes into the eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
People don't think about that.
Some people don't even know.
No. Interesting things. Such interesting world. So much unexplored, truly.
I think some of these things... I mean, if Bigfoot is just one big interdimensional monkey, leave him be.
Leave him be, yeah. He ain't hurting nobody.
If Nessie is a dinosaur floating in a giant ocean lake thing, leave it be.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know that it's not like salmon or something, that they go back at a certain point in time for different various and sundry reasons.
Right.
There's many things that it could be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to throw everything out and just be one of those. What was his name? Joe Nichols. That was the asshole. That was the skeptic about everything. He hates everything and everybody, I think. He's paid asshole.
I have no idea who he is.
Yeah, he was one of those there for a while when we were covering different stories and stuff that he was.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. I think it was his name. If it wasn't his name, I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, whatever. He did, just the ass.
He was a jerk.
He
was just a jerk.
Yeah.
So, if you've had experiences with the paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, if you've had any kind... Well, everybody's had experiences with the assholes, unfortunately. But if you've had any kind of these experiences, when we say... And I say this very quickly at the end because we've been doing it for a while. If you have had any kind of sightings or something like that, you can either put that in the comment section, that, or you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and we can either, if you want us to do a video about your sighting or your experience or whatever, the only thing we ask is, as you write it up, I do have, request the ability to edit it to where I can tell it and not sound always like a blithering idiot. That in the email, give me permission to use your story. Mm-hmm. And it's just a legal thing. I don't want somebody to email and go, I didn't give you permission. No, I then put that in the body of the email. It's like, I give you permission to share my story.
Yeah.
Because that just works better for everybody. So that's always an option. And in the past, when we first started doing this, we did have people that would send us stories and stuff.
Yeah, we had a few.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because everybody is so scattered right now.
Yeah,
and we don't take it personally.
Not many people are too focused on the paranormal or cryptids right now.
They're just trying to survive.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Because it's all a supernatural battle, and that's Just that has to take precedence.
Let me tell you, I don't know how anyone can be brainwashed by such an idiot. Such an idiot.
That's the thing.
With the word salad.
When somebody is brainwashed, they do not know that they're brainwashed. And if somebody tries to tell them that their way of thinking is erroneous, they become violent. Either that can be physically violent, verbally violent, whatever, but they do not want to hear that they're wrong. And it can become a very dangerous situation, and that's what we're in right now. That's just reality.
Yeah. I mean,
so, you want to
don't want to get into it.
No, you want to do your spiel?
BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, Relenda's Cup of Coffee with Scream, X, Relenda, COCWS.
Yeah, over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing stuff. Doing stuff. And know that you are loved.
Mm-hmm.
Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And let us pray one for another. Lord, we need that all the time.
Yeah.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Bye.